Let go of the past to make space for the new relationship coming in on today's Oblyron Divination. Greetings everyone, I am Oblyron, Lord of the Underworld and consort to the most lovely Hecate. Thank you for joining me on today's Elemental Synastry Reading. It is a divination technique which was bestowed upon me by the goddess upon her sacred marriage, and it involves the tarot, the 5 elements, and astrology. Now this is a timeless collective reading, so take what resonates and discard what doesn't. And if you do happen to resonate with today's message, then feel free to let us all know with a like, subscribe, or comment. So, I draw a tarot card for each of the elements, and the first element that I draw a tarot card is for the element of spirit, which is represented by the bell. All right, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so what is influencing the element of spirit, love? Justice. Okay, excellent. Very excellent. All right. So we have something which is being delivered to us in spirit. Some great news on the way. We are going to be vindicated. We are going to feel like our efforts were vindicated, obviously. We are going to feel like we're going to finally be recognized for what we've been through and what we've done. We are going to feel like it's going to be finally our time to step into the sun a little bit. For many of us, especially probably coming out of the last couple of years, I think there's been a lot of backstabbing, there's been a lot of underhandedness, and I think for a lot of us, especially if we do feel like we have been staying the course and staying the path, we may feel like we were unjustly and unfairly treated. And so Spirit is telling us, look, your efforts are about to pay off. You will be vindicated, you will be recognized, and you will feel that sort of weight lift off the shoulders of finally feeling like, yes, finally, other people realize what I've been through. Other people realize what I've been having to deal with. Okay, so let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. So I roll the astrology die to see what is the likely outcome or advice. And we have Uranus in Aries in the 7th house. Okay, interesting. All right. Is this a possible connection? All right. So I roll once for the house and I roll the second time for the decan. So we're in the first decan of Aries. Okay. All right, let's line this up. So we have that first decan of Aries. Yeah, basically, we're moving forward. With it, this is interesting. Okay, so we have justice, and we also have justice in Libra, and of course, justice is represented by Libra in the tarot and astrology. They're kind of interchangeable with that. So I think it's interesting how both of that has to relate with the house of Libra. Pretty much what I'm getting from this, especially with that Uranus energy mixed in with that Mars energy, is we're having sort of this new rush of relationship coming in. We are having, not only are we probably being, this is turning very quickly into a love reading, but not only are we being vindicated by probably an ex who mistreated us, but now there is There is a whole completely new energy coming in. An energy which is basically saying, look, forget that old energy. Just go into the new energy and really go with that. This is something new that's coming in. This is something that's going to sweep you off your feet. This is something that's probably going to be completely unexpected. And pretty much what we're looking at is, a new relationship, a new commitment, a new possible soulmate or a twin flame or something, if you follow those types of journeys and those types of relationship patterns. But yeah, there is, Spirit is definitely trying to say, look, what you went through in the past was meant to prepare you for who you're going to be right now. You're a better person today than you were in the past, and because you're a better person today than you were in the past, that is going to open you up to better people to coming into your life. And very clear message with that. It's new, it's fresh, it's going to be, again, it's probably going to sweep you off your feet, be a bit unexpected, but yeah, at this point, expect the unexpected, especially when it comes into the nature of relationships. All right, let's move on to the next element, which is, let me move this over, it's the element of fire, and it is represented by the wand. Now, fire can represent our drives, ambitions, desires, and yeah, we can tap into that spirit energy too with the fire. All right, so what is influencing the element of fire? Love. All right. Okay. All right, so we got the Four of Pentacles. Now, yeah, it feels like, especially with the Justice coming in from the element of spirit, it feels like there is a lot of the past which is still kind of weighing us down a little bit. You know, that Four of Pentacles is the Lord of Earthly Power, but the thing about the Lord of Earthly Power is that he's kind of weighed down by his wealth. And in this case, that wealth could also mean, let's say, some of the emotional baggage with that previous relationship. We could still be feeling weighed down by it. We're probably not at our A game to move forward and to move on. But at the same time, you know, when are we ever really ready? So that the fact that it's coming up is, you know, it's really saying, look, at some point, it's time to cut it all loose. It's time to let the past be the past, move forward, and really focus that drive, ambition, and desire towards the future now. Focus and redirect everything, because when we look towards the past, we only have a tendency to become weighed down by it. At this point, it's no longer serving us. There's nothing left to really ruminate over. There's nothing left to pick up the pieces and try to put it back together to make it make sense or any of that kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with that. At this point, it's really just about moving forward and really embracing that change too. We have a lot of fire energy, especially with that first decan of Mars right there. That kicks off the new year, that first decan of Mars. So pretty much, you know, this is saying this is a completely new beginning. This is something which, again, the past is the past. Just move on from it. Spring forward into the future and really address these issues of the past so that it doesn't, really hinder our drive going from here on out as well. Okay, let's see what the astrology guy have to say to that. So we have Mercury in Pisces in the 12th house. Oh, we're getting mystical here, aren't we? Okay. Uh-oh. Hey, let's move that back. Okay, Mercury, Pisces, 12th house. Let's re-roll for the decan. Okay, middle decan of Pisces. So that's that Nine of Cups energy. And yeah, so this is really calling us to look on a very deep esoteric level to really kind of let go of the last things that we have to let go. We've probably already been doing a lot of work, probably been doing, let's say, if you're getting out of a relationship, then, studying the relationship attachment styles and all that kind of stuff. Well, this is asking us to go a little bit deeper. Ask those harder questions. Dive a little bit deeper into asking the questions of why, to basically move on. If there's anything left to even move on from. If there's going to be anything residual, it's going to be there. It's going to be in the deep, dark recesses of our mind. It's going to be in those things which are hidden. The things which lurk a little bit more in the shadows. And they may not be the most obvious thing. But that's really telling us to address those and to look at that. Mercury was one of the few gods who could go between the light and the dark, and this point now he is a messenger of the underworld. He is Chthonic Mercury, and now we are going into our unconscious mind. This is where we have to travel in our mercurial mindset. This is where we either need to communicate with our inner selves. This is where we either need to learn some new skills. Well, whatever it is, now it's time to descend a little bit, look at what's left in that, and really untie that to get our fire energy going back, so we're not quite weighed down by the past or by what we've experienced. Yeah, because I'm getting there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff from the past, and of course in any relationship, what isn't, it all has emotional baggage at some point. So there you go. Let's see. Let's move on to the next element. I think this is a really quick, short reading, but let's try and get to the point as much as possible. Keep that momentum going. So the next element is the element of air, which is represented by the sword. And it can represent our communicative skills, our intellectual pursuits, things of that nature. Okay. So love, what's happening in the element of air? What do we have? Okay. Inverted hangman. Okay, so it seems as though, yeah, at this point we could be sort of communicating to other people, maybe talking to other people about our situation, and maybe even rationalizing or over-rationalizing, or again, maybe some of the rumination is still coming in. It's causing our minds to go in loops, again, where we are kind of telling other people our business, and all this stuff is really, it's really, at this point, there's really no point to it. At this point, it's really about just looking within and moving on from that. We don't need to communicate more than what we have to. We don't need to let other people in more in our business than we have to. And the more that we kind of get into these modes of gossip or these modes of let's say, I don't know, watching X amount of YouTube videos to learn something new about whatever happened in our relationship, well, that doesn't really serve us anymore, because again, it's about moving on, it's about letting go, and it's about going into the future. So yeah, definitely watch the communication, watch the overindulgence of instructional videos. That seems to be the message right now. Again, at some point, when we become too stuck in it, it's not really going to serve us anymore. And so, if that's what you're feeling right now, then it's really time to cut it off. Okay, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. So we have Venus in Aries in the 10th house. A lot of Aries energy. Okay. All right, let's re-roll for the decan. All right, we are in Aries, not Gemini. Okay, so we're in the first decan of Aries again. Wow. And let's see. Wait a minute. Oh man, this is throwing me off. Which way is the inverted way? There we go. No. Okay, there we go. All right. So, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, this could be even sort of maybe spreading gossip at work. Maybe someone was spreading gossip at work about you or something like that. Or if it wasn't at work, it was probably an attack that someone did to sort of tarnish your name or something like that. Something along those pars, or on par along with that. So pretty much what we're looking at here is we need to rise above that. We need to take the initiative to rise above that. Some other people may be trying to drag us down into our own drama. Maybe it was the ex who was talking behind our back, and through mutual friends now people are talking, and now you got labeled as being the villain or the bad guy or whatever. I'm kind of getting a lot of that energy. But really the whole thing is to not play those games, to not play that pettiness. Don't fall into the gossip. Don't fall into any of that. Again, we need to move on from this because we have another love coming in. So the more that we hold on to that past, the more that we gossip about the past, the more we're still stuck in the past, the more we're investing that energy into that old person, that old relationship. And really, that again, we got that first decan of Aries again. That's springing into action. That's taking the initiative. It doesn't get much more about taking the initiative as the first decan of Aries. That's the most initiating of initiative decans, I guess you could say, that there is. And the fact that Venus is influencing that is it's saying to really lead with love. Venus, we always kind of equate her with just being about love or lust or any of this kind of stuff, but really it's also about being that refined spokesperson too. It's grace and elegance. That's also what Venus has to offer. And this is really what the message is for this, is to take those Venusian aspects of grace and elegance, of rising above it, rising above the gossip, the rumors, the backstabbing. You know what? Let the peasants play that, because Venus is in her queen energy right here, and that's time to really step into that energy, step into that regal energy. And again, queen, king, in terms of energy, it's not always necessarily gender specific. It's just the energies. So you could be a guy filling this too. It doesn't matter. So again, it's really stepping into, as the Danae would say it, the beauty way, following the path of beauty, following that sort of higher path of not letting the pettiness affect you, and really not getting involved with any of that. Yeah, Spirit is saying you're going to be vindicated, or you already are vindicated, especially in terms of Spirit's perspective. So just get ready for this change that's about to come in, and get ready for this sudden and swift new relationship that's about to come in. And once that person comes in, guess what? None of this means anything. It'll be super easy to get rid of the past. It'll be super easy to just stop the rumors, because what does it even matter anymore? You're a better version of you, and there's a person coming in who's going to be in better alignment with you. So don't sweat it. Just move on from it. Let the past be the past. Okay, let's move on to the next element. It is the Pentacle. or I should say the element of earth, which is represented by the pentacle. And it can represent our material acquisitions, our spiritual acquisitions, the ground we stand on. It can even represent the ability to manifest, a bunch of different things. So, let's see what is influencing the element of earth. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords. Now, yeah. So it's been quite a battle. It's been really. There's been a lot done. There's been a lot. There's so much that happened that there's really no clear winner here, as it usually kind of goes with these things. No one is really completely wrong or right in this situation. The dynamics in a relationship or a marriage or whatever it is are so complex, you can't really pin it to one thing or another. So here what we have is, on the level of Pentacles, again, there's no clear winner. Perhaps it could be a couple of different things. Maybe finances got messed up. There's no clear winner. Maybe this caused us to really question even the foundation of our relationships or marriage or whatever. We could be feeling like we're in a bit of a conundrum, like we don't really quite know what to do or where to go. And it's like, the game is over, but again, who's really the winner here? And there really is no winner. It's just one of those things that just is. And we can completely just pick apart the past for years on end if we really want to. But is that really worth our time? Is it really worth it to just dwell so much on it, when clearly we have so much more going for us as well? So let's take a look at what the astrology die have to say to that. So we have the South Node in Libra in the 12th house. Wow, lots of Libra energy. Lots of 12th house energy too, apparently. Okay, let's re-roll for the decan. Okay, middle decan of Libra. And let's move this around. Okay. And Pentacles. Okay. So, again, just like what we were talking about before, that South Node says, that's the past. That was already established. The karmic debt to that has already been fulfilled. Pretty much everything that happened for a reason, and there's pretty much nothing left from that. And again, we have Libra there again to talk about the past relationship, and we also have it in the 12th house as well. So that 12th house is also it's about endings, and there's just so many different signs are saying to just leave this in the past. Both of these are in the 12th house. Both fire and earth are both in the 12th house. The earth is saying, look, that marriage is in the past. Put it in the past. It has come to an end. Put it into the 12th house. Basically, send it off to the void. It's fine. It's fine. There's no clear winner. Just let it go. Same thing. All the weight of the past. And it's interesting how this is Pentacles too. So we have all this sort of past material energy, this past energy that we've built with, and it's saying, look, it's 12th house energy. It's time for it to end. It is a house of endings. It is a house of reconciliation. So again, learn from it, understand it, but don't get stuck in it. Don't ruminate on it, and definitely, be ready to move on, because a lot of good things are going to be happening really soon. Okay, let's move on to the last element, the element of water, which is represented by the cup, and the cup represents our emotions, our intuitions, our intuition, our psychic abilities. Yes, various things. Let me check the time really quick. Okay. Alrighty. So, what is influencing the element of water, love? Okay. Ooh. 10 of Cups. Wow. Okay. That just changed the whole thing. I mean, if there is not a whole reason, or if we as if we don't need another reason to let go of the past, there it is. It's that 10 of Cups energy. Not only the 10 of Cups energy, but also in the element of Cups, which is our emotions. So essentially what we have, this new person coming in, this is our person. This is our person who is going to be everything that we want them to be, everything that they need to be for us, everything that we need to be for them, so on and so forth, interchanged, and all of that. And this is a deep connection. This is a connection of understanding. This is a connection of love. This is a connection of joy. And there is just so much that is coming in. And that should be really the main lesson of this, is between spirit and water. Look, it's saying you're already justified, you're already vindicated, and water is saying, look, you got joy coming in on the way. A true connection coming in. So let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay, we have Venus in Taurus in the 6th house. Okay, Venus, Taurus, 6th house. Let me get rid of these cards real quick. And let's re-roll again for the decan. Middle decan of Taurus. Okay. Okay, wow. So not only do we have the 10 of Cups represented in that, but we also have the 6 of Pentacles energy with that middle decan of Taurus, and with Venus influencing it, and of course Venus also rules Taurus. It's sort of turning it into overdrive, and of course we have it in Virgo too, which has to deal with a lot of also working on ourselves too. So this new relationship that's coming in is going to basically thrust us into being the best version that we can be. This new version or this new relationship is really about embracing. It's not about sacrifice. It's not about diminishing ourselves or any of that kind of stuff. It's really about, just stepping into your best because you are just filled with joy. Like that genuine sense of joy. Not just something fleeting, not something which is fly by night or any of that. But this is really something. I mean, when it gets into those levels of Virgo, it's causing us to really step within ourselves and to really sort of perfect ourselves too. So this is really sort of like this transmuted joy, and again with Venus influencing that, she's the benefactor to Taurus. I mean, you just have all of these energies which are really working together, and they're really coming together to create just a sense of satisfaction and to create just a sense of really completion within us. So again, that is the justice. Being able to step into our highest and best selves, being able to also not only be able to step into our highest and best selves for ourselves, but also being able to have that relationship that we wanted to facilitate a lot of these things. And again, it's interesting that these are on this side, and these three are on this side, because it's like this is the stuff that we can just discard. This is the stuff that this is all the past, and there's really nothing to continue with that. So yeah, it's really quite a positive message. Let's see. Let's look for the aspects. We do have a conjunction here. So yeah, this conjunction right here, since it's both in the 12th house and it had to deal with the element of earth and fire, it's really saying to just toss that. If there's anything to really toss, it would be that. And again, there's really no point, because we have a lot of baggage and we have a lot of confusion right here. And a lot of this is saying it's just a past anyways, and a lot of it is saying, yeah, toss it into the void, move on. And they're in conjunction, so it's kind of an even amplified message for that, to just let it go. All right, what else do we have? We have a sextile formed between air and both earth and fire. And that also makes sense too, because like I said, they were all kind of on the same side. They're all the elements that really has to deal with the past, and it's things that no longer serve us anymore. So even though these are conjuncted and sextiled, it's really about the sextile only adds to the whole statement that this needs to be in the past. It's a very strong statement. So these two are very important. This one too is important. Again, this is the work talk. This is a status talk. This could be people talking behind our backs, or maybe even we're going into those petty games or whatever. But this is really just saying, get rid of all of it. Whatever it is, you are so far beyond it. You don't even need to participate in this. This is child's play. This is petty. Just be the Venusian Empress. Move on from that and just live life again. All right, let's see, what else do we have? We have an opposition between water and earth and fire. So that opposition, yeah, a lot of times when we see an opposition, they can also work somewhat symbiotically too. And this is really telling me, okay, focus on this joy so much so that it becomes easier to let this go. This is really, the message between that opposition. Instead of focusing on this and letting it block the joy, focus on the joy to let that go. Again, the past is the past. This no longer serves us, so only focus on what is coming into us, or what is coming to us. And let's see, the last thing we have, the last thing we have a square formed between spirit and between earth, or I'm sorry, not earth, air. And that would actually make a lot of sense too, because we could feel like, that it's such a drive to want to prove our point that we could find ourselves kind of playing those games which are beneath us, just because we want to be vindicated, we want to be understood, we just want someone to hear our story and to nod and be like, okay, I got you, I understand, I know what you're trying to tell me. And so that way it can lead to a lot of this indulgence of, let's say, workplace rumors, or perhaps indulging in and again, those petty or manipulative games with other people to kind of prove our point. We don't need to prove that. That's why it's causing that square energy. We don't need to do any of that. Just let it go. And again, just focus on these two, spirit and water, for this particular reading. Everything else, it no longer serves us. So again, just leave it in the past. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, okay, so I'm going to take this over to the extended reading over on Discord. If you're interested in that, then feel free to hop on over to the Discord. I'll assign you a role that you can see these extended readings. And also, again, if you resonated with today's message, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe, or a comment. Thanks again for watching, and may Hecate illuminate your path and guide you at the crossroads.